The Saudi regime is Israel in a thobe. It will absolutely never take meaningful action for Palestinian liberation. Remember that just as Israel was carved out of a British colonial protectorate, so too was the Saudi state. The House of Saud was installed in power by the British in the 20th century after the Ottomans had successfully expelled them from holy cities in the 1810s. In the 18th century, a tribal chieftain of the House of Saud formed a compact with a student of Islamic law, Muhammad B. Abdul Wahhab. The theology of the latter declared most of the practices of Muslims heretical and made killing heretics permissible. This facilitated a brutal conquest of Western Arabia that was ended by the Ottomans and re-enabled by the UK. During both Saudi occupations of the Hijaz, they slaughtered Shiites, Sufis, and Sunnis that did not share their ideology. Muslim scholars from Malaysia to West Africa wrote legal opinions saying that as long as they were in possession of the holy cities, pilgrimage was not required of the Muslims. Mukhtar al-Kunti was one of many who forbade it. The Saudis had an abysmal reputation for religious ignorance and brutality that only began to change with the discovery of petroleum in the kingdom in the 1930s. During the mid-20th century, they slowly purchased a veneer of basic legitimacy by putting scholars on payroll. Muslim modernists like Rashid Rida and others who began by mocking the Saudis ended up changing their positions in part because they saw a supposedly independent, not colonized, Arabian kingdom as important for Islam in a period when most of the Muslims were colonized. The founding of the Islamic University of Medina in 1961 marks a period where Wahhabi ideology became the second most important export of the state. Many now believe that a sect that was so deviant that it put the fifth pillar of Islam in abeyance for some is the original pure religion of the Salaf, righteous ancestors. The Saudi regime promotes a politically quietist vision of Islam that stresses obedience to established rulers. Salafi ideology uses many forged hadiths from the Umayyad period that claim that Muslims are supposed to silently obey oppressors and never protest. This is a lie against God and His Messenger, peace be upon him. Wahhabism is in many ways a functional equivalent of Zionism. It is a modern political philosophy that masquerades as a religion. Its basic function is to legitimize the political authority of a neo-colonial proxy state. Just as Israel was founded by the UK and became the imperial proxy of the US, so too did Saudi Arabia. The United States has been and remains the principal patron and protector of the Saudi kingdom. Palestine, if awaiting on the Saudis, don't hold your breath.